T minus 60 seconds. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the 5 Foot Viking Podcast, where we get to drink a beer and learn something new. And yeah, today we're going to be learning today. It's going to be fun. But before we jump into everything that's happening tonight, just wanted to send out some thank yous to everybody that had a lot of people that have been sending messages through Facebook and through YouTube. And, this last, as everybody who watches this podcast knows, I'm in school, and this last semester was a little bit rough, and especially the last couple of weeks. So I know I missed a few weeks, and it was really cool to see that some people were reaching out, just saying, hey, we miss you. We miss hanging out with you on Tuesday nights and stuff. And that means a lot to me. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who reached out. And jumped on. So let me jump into it. Just a few comments already. There are people that are jumping on right here. We got good friend Alberto, buddy. He says, "What's up, brother? Here checking in. Thank you so much for being here, man. And I saw you were smoking a cigar today, and it looked really good. And I think I might be hitting one of those up later on tonight." Mr. Schlitz, great friends. Thank you so much for always supporting. He says, "Happy holidays, Whit and Marlene." Thank you so much. So the last podcast that we did was a few weeks ago, and it was the podcast with my gorgeous, beautiful wife, Marlene, and we did because we had our 10-year wedding anniversary, which was pretty cool. That was a fun podcast to go back and forth between all the pictures and kind of relive those years and those moments, those anniversaries. It was fun. It was pretty. It was a lot of fun. I recommend if you have some extra time, definitely go back and check out that podcast. We had a really good time talking about it, and yeah, that was a blast. Boris, what's up, my man? Good to see you, buddy. Can't wait for you to get your motorcycle, and we can go riding together. That'll be fun. So this podcast. So wanted to let you guys know that I finished my semester. Damn it. It's been a rough one, but I had 3 classes this semester. I had a class that you would think that I had 3 classes. Okay. One of them was a communications class. One of them was a marketing class. And the other one was a interdisciplinary class, which is up my that's part of my degree. So out of the 3 classes, I thought that the interdisciplinary was going to be the easiest and the most fun, because the title was of the class was called The Chemical and Cultural Makeup of Beer, or Chemical and Cultural History of Beer. And I'm like, as soon as I read it, I'm like, that is right up my alley. Hell yeah. I like to learn how beer's made and where it came from and all the history behind it. I was like, this sounds like a blast. So, the other one was a 1920s prohibition class, a communications class. And that one was, I just find the 1920s very interesting, very, very interesting. And then there's so many aspects of that. I mean, you've got gangsters, you got prohibition, you have the Great Depression. There's just so many flappers. It was really interesting time. So, and then my marketing class, which was globalization marketing, and that one was terrible. And it wasn't terrible because of the class; it was terrible because the professor. Not saying that he's a terrible professor, but when you're taking everything online, it's just it's much more difficult to get out of a lecture when you have a lecture and it's just audio and you can't understand him, and you're not able to ask a question. People ask me how school is going, and literally I just say, I'm paying a grip of money so I can teach myself these classes because you're doing everything online. Luckily, there are some professors who are a little bit more interactive than others, but it's this one. So anyways, the 1920s class was great. Loved it. That was a lot of fun watching some movies, doing some movie reviews, talking about the Great Depression. I did a movie review on a couple movies that maybe you guys have seen. I watched Chicago. I think it was with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Renee Zellweger. Watched that one. That was great. Watched The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it was fun because it wasn't just watching the movies just for entertainment. There was literally I had to pay attention and look at the themes and look at some of the events and how they correlate to real life events and are they accurate. That was a fun class. A little bit more work, but it's okay. The globalization marketing class was rough, but the one class that I thought was going to be amazing was really, really difficult. It was the chemical and cultural history of beer, and man, a lot of that stuff just went over my head. It was anybody out there that's watching, if you're watching this or if you're listening to it, have any of you guys ever tried to make beer? Because it's definitely a process. And I've tried it once or twice, mostly with some friends. One of my good friends, Mr. Kevin Knight, who is the bass player in Damage Inc., the Metallica tribute band. He brews beer. He does home brewing, and he's amazing at it. He's got that mentality of I got to put this much hops into this much this and this much time and this much heat. And so I was kind of just following his lead on a lot of stuff, but this class was extremely difficult. It was we'll just leave it at that. So I'm very, very happy to be out of school right now, have a little bit of time off, and then jump back into it in January, and January will be my last semester. God willing, fingers crossed that everything goes well. January next semester will be my last semester, and hopefully I'll be graduating in May, getting my bachelor's degree in marketing, and you guys will be able to see a 5-foot Viking marketer, which should be fun. But until then, let's jump into, once again, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite segment.
Beer! You're allowed to drink beer?
Anybody got a cold beer?
Do it up again!
Another!
Yeah!
That is a beer.
SKOL.
SKOL, everybody. If you're at home, if you got a beer, put it up one time. SKOL. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. And today, I ran out of beer. Surprisingly enough, I ran out of beer, so I went out to the fridge and grabbed something real quick. And it was a debate between I only had a few left, so it was Bud Light, or I had a few of these left. These Elysian Space Dust IPAs. So I'm drinking some of these IPAs. I can't remember. I think they're like 8% or something like that. These are, yes, alcohol is 8.2% by volume. So I'm gonna have 2 of these tonight. Have a good time with that. But yeah, we got Eddie Stevens. What's up, buddy? He says, "What's good, son? Miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, my friend." Jerry, good to see you, brother. Put the horns up. Love it. And my beautiful wife watching. She says, "So proud of you. Thank you." And Alberto says, "Always supporting the podcast." Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Always do. Always do. Mr. Boris, my man. Booze Day Tuesday. Oh, I like that. Booze Day Tuesday, like it, like our buddy Johnny would say. Yeah, that's true. And unfortunately, our good friend Johnny passed away. I think it was today, actually, today or yesterday. So here's a big SKOL for our buddy Johnny Cardenas. SKOL, bass player, great musician, great person. And then my wife chimes in. She says, surprisingly enough, Lava, we had a fridge full of beer. That's very true. We just like a few weeks ago, we had a fridge completely filled to the brim with beer. And as you can see, that's what happens during finals. You know, you got to have my creative juice to write papers. So, but anyways, so with that being said, and talking a little bit about school, also I wanted to let you guys know that with this podcast, I've been doing everything, talking with guests, and we've always been talking about stuff like that and talking about Viking facts because it's the 5-foot Viking, and but I've been neglecting. I've been talking a little bit about my school life, but I haven't really talked a whole lot about my music. And music, as most of you guys know, I'm a professional musician and this is what I do for a living. So I figured I would throw that into the mix and just kind of let you know what's going on in the 5-foot Viking musical career. So just to let you guys know, I have a band called Steel Rod, and we've been together for 20 years, a little over 20 years. And we just landed a new residency at the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, and we are playing there every Friday and Saturday night from 10:30 until 1:30 in the morning. And we're playing upstairs on the 12th floor, and we're calling it Steel Rod After Dark. It's the after hours party. It's the place where everybody goes after everything else is done. You come upstairs. We're treating it like a modern day Rat Pack. And we're dressing up a little bit. We've got some suits on, and we're playing some acoustic music upstairs. We still have a full drum set and acoustic bass, acoustic guitar going through a system. And our debut weekend was last weekend, and it was a huge success. It was really, really great. We had a blast. We had a great time. Everybody that came out loved it, and we're just gonna keep powerhousing through that. So this week in the musical career of Whit Petrell, Thursday night I'll be in the Rock Yard at the Fantasy Springs Casino. We're actually playing for there's a musical company that they deal with underprivileged youth who want to get into music. So there's 3 bands that are going to be playing starting at 7:00 in the Rock Yard, and we're going to be the band that plays in between them, kind of keeps things going. And there's 3 bands that are going to jam, and they're a bunch of kids that are just getting their feet wet with music, and we're super excited to support live entertainment and kids that are getting into music, because I think that's a good thing to support. So that's going to happen on Thursday in the Rock Yard, and then Friday and Saturday at the Fantasy Springs Casino as well, up on 12. So today I just wanted to jump back into one of the Viking facts. So let me pull up what I have here. Let me jump into this banners. Now, there's going to be a couple words that I absolutely won't be able to pronounce, so I wrote them down on a banner for you guys because they're spelled with like letters backwards and numbers. Oh, and that's a good beer. So let's jump into this. I want to talk a little bit about some of the weapons that the Vikings used, and some of the misconceptions, and some of the interesting things some of the facts that I thought were interesting. So let's jump into some of this. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read this for you. So we're going to have some fun reading with the 5-foot Viking. So I got this off of a couple different websites when I looked up some of the facts. And if you guys want to learn more about this stuff, please shoot me a message, and I will I'll shoot you guys to the different websites. But it says here, weapons of war. The Vikings warrior shields would edge the outer sides of the long ships. They would put them on the outsides of the ships. This ensures that they were stored effectively and were ready for use, and they could stop the waves from hitting against the ship. They were made of wood and covered with leather. Many shields had an iron rim, and they were held with a grip on the reverse side. Here is just a little picture of some of the shields, one of the shields that I found. So as you can see, it's made out of wood, has the metal rim going around it. And I don't know if you know this, but up in the corner of this, you can see, where is it? Right up here in the corner, I modeled my logo for the 5-foot Viking off of one of a Viking shields. Just kind of cool. It's like a Viking shield, but it has the TFFV on there, the 5-foot Viking. Little inside information for you. A Viking warrior equipped for attack would be armed with a shield, a small battle axe, a helmet, protective clothing, and frequently a sword or a spear. Weapons were made with iron and wood. The most popular weapon during the Viking Age was an axe. Made with heavy, sharp blades, they could easily smash through helmets or sever limbs. And here is a picture so you guys can see some of the axes that they used. And then here's a picture of a gentleman with the spear and the shield. A couple different images that I found online. And some spears were used to thrust into victims, while lighter ones were thrown. Spears were the preferred weapon of poorer warriors, as swords and axes were very costly. Swords were considered the quote-unquote hero's weapon. They were usually a prized possession, and good ones were sometimes given names such as Fierce or Leg Biter. Leg Biter. That would definitely be a sword for the 5-foot Viking to swing. Leg Biter. Most swords were double-edged and often had a center long groove, which made them lighter. When the sword was not being used, it was carried attached to a leather belt or baldric, a shoulder strap. Swords were often passed from father to son or buried with the warrior when he died. We often see Viking helmets depicted with wings, but actually these did not exist in the Viking period. Helmets with the horns did exist, but only for religious ceremonies and not for warfare, as it sometimes is portrayed. Warrior helmets were made of leather and metal. Some Viking helmets were round, some slightly pointed, and some helmets had eye guards and nose pieces. The quality of a warrior's protective clothing depended on the status and wealth. Richer warriors had heavier tunics made of iron rings and chain mail, while poorer warriors had padded leather jackets. And I thought that was really interesting, that because whenever you look into, whenever you think of Vikings, whenever you watch a TV show, or whenever you see some pictures online, most of the time you see a lot of those pictures with the helmets with the big horns on them. The big giant Viking with the huge beard and the huge mustache and the long hair and the big helmet with the horns. And to be honest, that was kind of my thing too when I thought of Vikings, but apparently that was not the norm. And just I found a couple pictures of this helmet that was found. Now, as of today, there's only been one actual Viking helmet, a real one, that has been found. And I did a little bit of research and I found out about this. So take a look at, I think I picked up this one. You can see this picture. As you can see, it's a rounded metal helmet. I don't know if you can see at the lower left-hand corner, there's like a little ring there. And apparently they are made with different, there's a few different pieces to this helmet. And this one has this piece right here where you can hang some of the metal from the helmet. So if you take a look at this picture back here, you can see how there's some metal hanging from the helmet. There's also, so that was one of the pictures where you can see that. So, but this one, so I'm going to read you guys just a little bit. On this. I know sometimes I might be boring, but I'm reading some of the stuff that I found for you guys, but I thought it was really interesting, and it's a Viking fact. So, up to 1943, no Viking helmet have ever been found. But on the 30th of March of that year, the burial mound was found on a farm near the village of, and I'm going to post this because I can't pronounce it. Here we go. It's at the bottom. Do your best. The burial mound was found on a farm near the village of Hogsbygd. I'm just going to spell it for you. It's Haugsbygd in the northeast of Honfost, and that's with and the first O has a slash through it. It looks like an infinity sign, and that's in Norway. So it was found on a farm in Norway, and it says at this time the country was under Nazi occupation. So everything found in the burial mound was loaded into wheelbarrows and hidden in a barn. Discovered within the mound was a helmet known as and I'm going to put this up as well. So the helmet was known as it's spelled GJERMUNDBU. So do your best with that one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it was known as that helmet after the name of the farm on which it was found. So that was the name of the farm. I just can't do it. Germundba. I don't know. I hope I got that right. That'd be great if I did. Germundba helmet after the name of the farm on which it was found, as well as the helmet. There were the blunt remains of 2 men, along with a rich haul of funeral items, such as chain mail armor, 3 axes, 3 spearheads, 3 swords, one of which was decorated with silver inlays, 4 bulges for shields, equestrian equipment, and games such as dice. So this wasn't just like you found one helmet. This was a burial ground, and there was a lot of stuff there. Over the past 70 years, the funeral items have been studied, and to this day, the helmet found in the mound is unique in the archaeological world. It has been positively dated to the 10th century, around 970 AD. But this very special helmet is the only example of a Viking helmet that has ever been found anywhere in the world. Researchers believe that one of the men buried in the mound was a minor king and that the helmet belonged to him. So that, I think, is, to me, when I started reading this and I started going down that rabbit hole, that felt really, really interesting. Here's another picture of that helmet. I read somewhere, I read another thing on another page that was talking about how the helmets were constructed. And by studying this helmet, they realized that they were constructed in multiple different parts. So it's not just one helmet put on and you put it on and you go. There's multiple. There's a lot of connecting pieces that create the whole helmet. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Let's jump into a few more comments here. Oh, we got my buddy John. What's up, buddy? Big Wit, Big John. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. And what's interesting about I kind of went down this rabbit hole of looking at the different weaponry, and it really changed my mind about how I thought personally about how Vikings were back in the day. Most of the stuff that everybody gets is from TV shows. Like, obviously everybody watches, everybody has watched, what is it? Vikings with Ragnar Lothbrok and all that. And they're very, they're fairly authentic with everything. I mean, obviously it's a made up show and script and everything. And how cool is that? They came up with, I don't even know how many seasons, but with their axes, using the shields. I remember seeing the shields lining the outside of the boats. So I'm interested in who was taking care of the authenticity during the making of that show. I wonder if I could find somebody who worked with that show. That'd be pretty amazing to talk with them about the research that they did, who they talked with, and how they applied everything that they learned from Viking fact to the TV show, and what was fact and what wasn't. But it was interesting to go down this rabbit hole for a little bit and look at some of the weapons. And here's some of the weapons that were found in that I guess tomb or burial funeral that was in Norway. These are some of the swords that were there, which is pretty interesting, along with that helmet. So, anyways, that is the Viking fact of the day, and definitely goes along with the beer of the day because I'm thirsty. But anyways, that is about it for this podcast, y'all. I just want to jump on, let you know what's going on with my life and everything, and give you guys a little bit of the Viking facts that I came up with today. But my dad, hey Dad, Bruce Patrell, Dad is finally here. Yes, you are, my friend. Miss you, Dad. Hope you're doing well. And we're gonna try and finish out this year strong here at the 5 Foot Viking. Every Tuesday, I got maybe 3 more left before the beginning of the year, and then we'll do a. I think I'm gonna come up with a new beer video. I'm gonna come up with a couple things. I got some time now that I don't have to focus on marketing for school. Now that I don't have to focus on school, I've got a little bit more time on my hands where I can jump into this room, clean it up, maybe get some other pieces going and some better lights and have some fun with it. But looking forward to that in the next couple weeks and having some fun with it. But once again, everybody, thank you guys so much for all your support, jumping in and commenting and listening and having fun and learning something new and drinking a beer. So if there is anything that you guys would like to talk about, if there's a subject that you guys would like to learn about, please shoot me a message, shoot me a comment, and I will I'll look into that and we can chat about that. So with that being said, I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to go finish this beer and maybe grab some food. But I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. And once again, thank you guys so much for the support. All right. Take care from the 5 Foot Viking podcast. And I think this is how you end it. Bam.